Hello, everyone, and welcome to the GCC Podcast. I'm Suchita Vishnoi, co founder and CMO at gatewAI. Today's episode focuses on one of the most important shifts happening in the GCC ecosystem, the move from execution driven centers to AI led, product driven global engines. Joining us today is someone who has been at the forefront of that shift. Amrish Kumar is the Chief Product and Technology Officer at Ascent Health Solutions, a leading US healthcare revenue cycle management and technology services organization focused on AI driven digital transformation in regulated healthcare ecosystems. With over 21 years of global experience, Amrish has led large scale AI, Gen AI, and enterprise technology programs across healthcare, BFSI, retail, and industrial sectors. He has built and scaled high performance GCCs, operationalized agentic AI systems, and driven measurable revenue impact. Amrish, it's a pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you, Suchita. It's really a pleasure to be on the podcast, and I am looking forward to spending time and also discussing about the various questions around the GCC and the agentic AI as well.
Thank you. Amrish, you build GCCs that directly influence product strategy and revenue outcomes. Let's begin with the broader landscape, right? Having built and scaled AI led GCCs that influence real revenue, not just operational efficiencies. In today's landscape, what structural and leadership shifts are required for a GCC to move from being a delivery engine to becoming a global product and IP owner?
Thanks, Suchita, for the question. This is really a great question because everybody is looking in order to take a look from a structural as well as leadership uh, shifts as well. As I had been working previously with various GCCs, and one of the things that I saw in the GCCs was moving from support unit to a product engine because most of these GCCs were working in a functional silos. So moving towards a product-oriented mindset, which was involving the cross-functional and autonomous pods that is happening. Then also similarly moving from a cost generating to a revenue generating PNL. So especially like where GCC would be owning the entire profit and loss or PNL for the product, and then they will drive the ROI or the instead of just using the cost per FTE or a TNM savings from there. Similarly, embedding AI into the core operating model. So this what we have seen with the people, process, and technology. So using AI just for internal process automation, building AI for the IP generating team, especially building it as an AI for as an IP lever for developing the proprietary AI models for their parent organizations as well as developing the IP products also and then moving the levers towards the service as a product, where the major use is delivery as usable platforms, which can be used by various other companies or various other organizations which work with the parent organization. Similarly, leadership shifts what we have seen from manager to a entrepreneur, where moving from a leaders should shift from just being a delivery leaders to becoming an entrepreneurs where they will be able to connect various domains like the functional domains, engineering domains, as well as business domains to create a business impact. And that is why they must hold these dual roles, which allow them to clear the shape to shape the global strategy and also steering their execution. Then product first mindset, which I always talked about.
Sure.
We have been also looking in the similar space, being that as an building as a product owner and then driving that product roadmap. Most of the CXOs in the US healthcare side also, they are mostly talking about building this as a owning the entire product and building it as a product mindset and solving the problems. And then similarly navigating ambiguity and risk and taking a data driven decision making. This is another
Yes.
important aspect because in order to use the global data and using AI enabled analytics, it helps to use as a data driven decision. Lastly, on the strategic levers, using talent as a strategic levers also, where they instead of use just hiring IT talent,
Mm.
They are more hiring domain specific product engineers, like especially in the healthcare domain, more aligned to the healthcare, which is in the payer, provider, and the life cycle. And similarly, taking an intellectual property ownership and then building trust through transparency, where they're moving from just to being hands off to a co creation
Mm.
by allowing working with their local leaders or global as well as local leaders to make sure that they make key decisions regarding technology trade-offs.
Yeah. So, Amrish, that perspective on the product mindset, like you said, or ownership and structure is extremely relevant, especially as AI becomes central to enterprise strategy. And that's happening across all GCCs, right? So, let's move now into execution. You've taken Gen AI initiatives from pilot stages into production environments within very highly regulated industries, right? Given where you are today. So, my next question to you is when moving from pilot to enterprise wide adoption, what are the biggest architectural, governance, and leadership decisions that determine success, overall success?
Yeah, that's also a very great question. And we have seen this across the healthcare and the banking industries where it's shifting from AI as a feature to AI as enterprise architecture. One of the biggest challenges are in the structural or making the architectural decisions or the governance decisions as well, especially in the architectural side, moving towards the agentic layered architecture, where moving towards the orchestration layer or building the agents within the workflows as well, which is multi-agentic system. Then similarly, model agnostic strategy, which is also looking at how do you design the portability of the systems to switch between the different models based on the cost, latency, or the data privacy. Similarly, RAG architecture, which is becoming more into a memory-driven or a context-based, just to make sure that we take the knowledge layer, which allows us to Gen AI to internal as well as allowing it to connect across the different data sources. Then edge versus cloud deployment. This is another major area. Then even the governance side, which is also in the privacy security, because in healthcare and banking industries, it's very highly
Regulated.
regulated.
Yes.
So we look at the privacy, security, and compliance, where the AI risk management framework is one of the things where building AI governance board, then doing audit trails right from the day one, looking into the observability, telemetry, logging the prompt, model versioning, all that is very important. Data sovereignty and privacy, because as we are into multiple regions or multiple zones
Mm.
across the different countries, it is important to have the data masking, anonymizing of the data, then PII scrubbing that we call, or ensuring models are not trained on patient data without their consent. So all these are then explainability, transparency measures also. Leadership, some of the other things that have come up is also on the leadership decision. We are moving, as I mentioned, about moving from a just from a wow factor to ROI impact, building a business impact, building AI center for excellences. That has become a very important thing, which is breaking down silos between the different functional or the business units or the
Yes.
data science. So building that collaboration between those different aspects and then investing also in the technical debt because mostly
Okay.
most of these IT systems are not AI ready.
Hmm.
So how do we upgrade them to expose so that Gen AI gets exposed to often poor data quality, which makes it very take time consuming to invest in data cleaning and lastly reskilling and upskilling
Hmm.
and as well as building a change management as well.
Yeah. So that's a lot. There's a lot that you've covered. And, we are also entering a phase where AI systems are beginning to manage end to end workflows with minimal human intervention. And this raises important questions about talent, structure, long term capability building, which you've covered more or less, right, in your response. Now, we're just steering our conversation to something more future forward, looking at how it's going to be. As agentic AI systems begin, owning end to end workflows from claims to reconciliation, how do you see GCC talent models evolving over the next 5 years? Are we going to redesign skills? Because you did talk about upskilling. Are we going to redesign skills? Are we going to, reorganize organizational structures or leadership expectations?
Yeah, that's a very great question. Suchita. I think one of the things which I have been seeing in the agentic AI systems, they are fundamentally transforming the whole GCC from back offices just to a or autonomous decision centers or and making those decisions across the different domains like the finance, healthcare, claims processing, and even some of the work that is being happening from a
Okay.
just being a labor-centric arbitrage to a value creation. So one of this is redesigning skills from, especially as you asked about the upskilling and how that is happening. So one of the things is we have seen rise of new roles where now agentic AI roles have come, which is more catered towards the AI agents or agentic AI roles as well, where we have seen agent supervisors,
Yes.
workflow orchestrators, as well as governance officers that have come. Similarly, domain skills have become a very important one because to cognitive and domain, there is a high demand for especially deep domain expertise, especially like in healthcare as well as banking. There is a not only AI fluency, but also how we can train and prompt and also build the models in a very quick succession. So the cognitive and domain skills. Lastly, there is human in the loop oversight where professionals or AI engineers are required to make sure that they validate the AI decisions, ensure compliance. And then lastly, on the skill-led career pathway, the most it's also shifting from just being a hierarchy towards a career shift, skill-based career path. So some of those which have been coming as skills, which is on the agentic AI or Gen AI side as well. Then redesigning the org structure. So one of the things is also building lean and high impact teams. So one of the things which we have also done is building how we can build a continuously building a impact lean teams as well. It should be highly impactful. So that is the one thing that we have done with the AI agent because they can handle the routine tasks and GCCs are reducing headcount in legacy roles and
Yes.
focusing more on high value roles and that will
Yes.
become the game changer. Then productized platforms and they are also transferring from a service delivery, even the IT services companies, if you see, and GCC both are shifting from service delivery to building, owning, and maintaining the AI native products, which is also AI native SaaS platforms or AI native products that has become. Then similarly, multi-city and distributed because now it is moving from tier one hubs to tier two and tier three cities. And then building a agile squad because that safe agile framework is coming back where it is now building how we can build a agile pods there, which will be cross-functional teams, which will be AI trainers, engineers, data
Yes.
engineers, domain experts, which will work. Then also moving from leadership from managers to just being an AI native leadership. So basically, like where it is, leaders should have the ability to orchestrate, guide, and
Yes.
trust the autonomous system. Then accountability and leaders are becoming responsible to AI trust. Then lastly, on the strategic and creative thinking and product mindset leaders, the more operational tasks are automated. Leaders are becoming more focused on strategic innovation, customer experience, and then also increasingly required to behave like product managers and driving end-to-end P&L and ownership of the AI-powered services. So this has been the major aspect where GCCs are moving towards a hybrid model where they are looking for AI agents,
Yes.
maintain the entire high volume transactional work, and then focus on complex problem solving, innovation, and strategic oversight.
Thank you so much, Amrish. That's a lot that you covered. Thank you for your response on this. Amrish, before we close, let's move to a quick rapid fire round. There are these three fun questions I will ask you. We want your short reflections and your first thoughts to those questions. Are you ready for that?
Yeah, right. Yeah, I'm ready for that.
Thank you. So, Amrish, if AI could predict one thing perfectly, the stock markets maybe, or healthcare outcomes, or cricket scores, what would you choose?
Yeah, I think one of the things which I will choose in uh, AI that could predict accurately is more into the healthcare. So if the patient, like if there is a cancer risk or there's a
Okay.
high octane like diseases that are there which are on a very difficult to trace,
Yeah.
if they can predict
In
these
early stage.
an early stage because
Yes.
some of our in our families also people have gone through that because
Yes.
we generally do the treatment after stage three or stage four. But generally, like all these high risk diseases, if they can predict at a
Yes.
very early stage, that becomes a much bigger thing.
Thank you. My next question on rapid fire is if your leadership style were described as a movie title, what would it be?
Yeah, I will myself call as a person who is uh, who is more into action seeker, or maybe like a person who likes to like a like a Superman or a Batman kind of a thing, where
Okay.
you would like to you make the especially to uh, look for outcomes within your within the AI systems, which is
Yes.
the one thing which I look for within, so that I can think about.
Thank you. Amrish, in the era of AI, what's more complex, the US healthcare workflows or planning a family vacation?
Yeah, I think planning a family vacation is becoming much more easier now because with the AI side, because as I can tell, you
Yes.
can plan the entire trip with AI because just on the click of a button and just with a single prompt. But yeah, I think US healthcare or banking or the BFSI financial services workflows are still the most
Dependent.
complex to solve.
Yes. So, Amrish, thank you for sharing such thoughtful insights. Your perspective clearly highlights that the future of GCCs lies in responsible AI deployment, product ownership, and disciplined scale, not experimentation alone. To everyone listening, we hope this conversation provided practical clarity on what it truly takes to build AI led, future ready capability centers. If you found this conversation valuable, please share, like, and subscribe to the GCC podcast and follow Gateway for more leadership dialogues shaping the future of GCCs and AI. Until next time, this is Suchita Vishnoi, and you're listening to the GCC podcast. Thank you so much.